Hey, it's morning musings with four keys, or maybe morning meanderings with four keys. I don't know what I'll call it, but it's with me, four keys. This song is really silly. It's me, four keys. I'm super silly. And I guess this is my podcast theme song. I don't know. Hey.
So first, before we even get it going, there might be rustling in the background. My little guy is in here. The furry little guy is in here with me hanging out because this is the sunniest spot in the place today. So we will be meandering around what I think is the second curse of the cycle breaker, and that's pressure, external and internal pressure that we put on ourselves and the pressure that is put upon us by those around us who are in support of the cycle and the breaking of the cycle, and those who might be working against it. So let's talk about that internal support, internal pressure first, because that's the only pressure that we can control, and the only pressure that really matters, honestly, because if you are in command of the internal pressures, the external pressures are uh what's the word? Inconsequential, right? So those internal pressures, the first thing we have to do is name them. And I don't mean find some like psychological therapy friendly term for what the pressure is for you specifically. I'll name my pressure. Is it fear of success or failure? Sometimes I'm not sure which one it is. And it wasn't until recently that I realized it's success. Because if it all goes right, then what do I have to complain about anymore? Right? If I start doing everything that I'm supposed to be doing, um, and it still doesn't feel good, then whose fault is it, right? Even if I have enough evidence, anecdotal and practical evidence, that the moves that I'm making at the moment for me are working for me because of the way my life is unfolding. Um, Now, does that mean that it's perfect? No, there is texture. Shout out to MJ and Creative Connection. Connect and create. Um, there is still texture and friction in this life, but learning to manage it on my own is what is most important. My own texture and friction, not the texture and friction that is somebody else's residue. Because all of us are dealing with somebody else's residue. That's what it is to break the cycle, right? Is to let go of other people's residue so you can start to really deal with your own. So that's one of my pressures, is that fear of success slash failure. Another pressure is like the need to like prove anything. Being the youngest in the family and like the youngest of a generation, and also being very observant and too honest for my own good sometimes. Um, Caused me a great deal of trouble. And as a little person, it was very easy to bypass, overlook, whatever, diminish my offerings, insertions, um, as she don't know what she talk about. She a little person. Yes. So I have conditioned to like plead my case all the time, like every time. Like in almost all environments. It's just plead my case. And it happened recently in two separate conversations, once with my husband and once with my coach, where I was talking about two separate things. And it was like, at one point to my coach, I said, I'm tired of telling people how old I am, explaining to people how old I am. And to my husband, it was something similar, but like, I'm tired of explaining to people how I understand multiple sides of a story of I understand their perspective and I can still be upset about things. And both of them had the same advice. It's like, why do you care? Why do you care? What would it mean? Why do you care? Why does it your age matter? Why does it matter that they understand you when you know that it's not, that is something that's unexplainable? So the pressure for closure and absolution, for things to make sense, nonsensical things to make sense, those are all my pressures that I got to sort through as I move into and learn this new life. Because that's really what we're doing as we step off and into our own paths and unlearn the bad habits. Because let's, I've seen somebody else say, let's stop calling them generational curses and generational bad choices. We have to learn how to make better choices. And when you weren't taught to make good choices, you have to give yourself grace. So be softer with yourself. I'm learning to be softer with myself. And we all have to be soft with different aspects of ourselves. I'm learning that. Um, I learned need to be softer with the part of myself that shows up angry when I get disrespected, because I should be angry sometimes. That is a signal for movement, and I need to make a choice. So when I'm angry, I need to acknowledge it. Um, and since I've been acknowledging it, I'm able to command it in a much more effective way and offer myself the support and structure that has required me to move onto this new path. So do the same. Soften your reactions to yourself. to your responses to the pressure, especially if it's the pressure that you're giving yourself, you're putting yourself under. I think that's it. Yep, that's all.
Well, that's all I got for now. If you liked it, great. If not, that's cool too. Until next time, be well.